Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you kind of a secret special Lefforge way to buy Disney Vacation Club. We call it DVC Lite. All the magic, half the price, and I'm really glad that you're here. Oh, but wait, have you subscribed to my channel yet? Because if you're showing up here watching videos all the time, it really would be kind of impolite to not be subscribed. And it's super easy. There's a big red button. Just press it. Just press the button. And while you're there, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. I really appreciate it. So before I get started in this video, you need to understand that in our family, my husband is the frugal one. He is the one that is always looking at every opportunity that comes our way and making sure that we are really making the best possible financial decision. I love this about him. In fact, we really do even each other out because I keep him from just staying home and saving all of his money, and he keeps me from spending all of our money. So it's a beautiful partnership, and I have zero regrets about the fact that we frequently view money differently. So recently, when we went to buy a DVC contract at Disney's Old Key West Resort, the subject came up of how many points should we buy. Now, we had been DVC members since 2012, but we had actually sold both of our contracts at Vero Beach, and we were using those proceeds to buy at Old Key West. We were just finding that at the 7-month mark, we were not finding availability at Disney World. We weren't going to Vero Beach as often, and the dues there were very expensive. So it just made more sense for us to buy at a property that was in Orlando at Walt Disney World. I ran the numbers. I figured that for our week in January, when we always go, we would need about 240 points. I added in my Run Disney weekends if I want to do a solo trip now and again, and I came up with somewhere in the neighborhood of between 300 and 320 points. I ran this by my very fiscally conservative husband, and he about lost it. Not in an angry way, not like that. He was just a little shocked that I thought we needed that many points. And that began a weeks-long dance conversation, if you will, about how many DVC points did we really need. And Scott, being the ingenious person that he is, came up with an idea that I really loved, and I loved it so much that we only ended up buying 120 points, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, one of the things that I dislike the most about Disney Vacation Club is the fact that there are a whole bunch of accommodations that I cannot stay at using points. Technically you can, but it's a terrible use of points. Places like Coronado Springs, places like the cabins at Fort Wilderness, places like club level rooms at the boardwalk or at the beach club or at the yacht club. I love a variety of different Walt Disney World accommodations. And when you have a large Disney Vacation Club contract, you feel like you have to stay using points every time you go down to Walt Disney World. Another thing that I've never liked is when great deals come along, say pass holder deals or general public discounts, for some of you even free dining. I felt like it was such a bummer that as a DVC member, if I'm using points, I could not take advantage of those special savings. So Scott's suggestion was something that would enable us to have all of the Disney Vacation Club magic, but only buy half of the points that we actually needed. He suggested that we buy 120 points, which combined with 2 years would give us 240 points to use every other year, which was more than enough for our 2-bedroom at Old Key West for our large family vacations. Now, when he first said that, I got a little panicky.
Because I thought, well, what are you saying, Scott? Do you only want to go to Disney every other year? That's not going to work for me. I don't want to just go to Disney every other year. I really am like breaking out in hives right now.
And he said, calm down, my beautiful wife. I don't know if he said the beautiful wife part. He should have said the beautiful wife part. The important thing I want you to know, beautiful wife, is that you can go to Disney as much as you want. I just don't want to have such a large timeshare that we lose out on flexibility, we lose out on the ability to maybe save some money with great deals, and most importantly, he did not want to outlay that huge amount of cash up front and then those larger annual dues. Because if you have half the points, you also have half the dues. So I stopped and said, okay, wait a minute. So what you're saying, if I'm hearing you correctly, is you're committing to me that I can still go to Disney whenever I want. Well, not whenever I want. Girlfriend's got to go to the dentist and grocery shop every once in a while. But I can go to Disney as much as I ever have. But you're saying you only want to purchase enough timeshare points, Disney Vacation Club points.
Sometimes I think we forget it's a timeshare.
To cover us for a large family vacation every other year. Bingo, he said. Beautiful wife. You are so smart. I am so glad I married you. I don't think he said any of that part. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought it just made an awful lot of sense. We don't pay that much for our annual dues. And it's super important to remember with a timeshare, you're locked into paying those annual dues for the life of the timeshare, which is something in the neighborhood of, depending on where you bought, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And it doesn't matter how your financial situation is going, or if you have that money, or if you're sending 3 kids to college, you have to pay those annual dues. And he just didn't want to be locked into that kind of monthly payment for the next 50 years. So here's how this is working for us. Last January, and if you watch my vlogs, you know this, we stayed for a week in a 2-bedroom at Disney's Old Key West Resort, all 5 of us. We had a fabulous time. We really all got to see and do everything we wanted, except for Scott because he broke his foot when we first got there, but it was still a great trip. Now, next year's trip, I will be booking using cash. And I'm not sure yet who's going to want to go. I can be a lot more flexible. I don't have to book that trip as far out because I know we are just going to pay cash. I'm just going to go either through my travel agent or go to disneyworld.com, and I'm going to book whatever accommodations we want to book, or maybe even stay off property. I don't know. Sometimes I can go crazy. Maybe we'll stay at, Bonnet Creek or something like that. But I'm not stressed out about it because I know that we have all kinds of flexibility and we have all the time in the world, as opposed to when I was making a DVC reservation 11 months out. I would make sure I was on there making that reservation. Then the following year, we will be back at our beloved Disney's Old Key West Resort. And then there was the final wonderful part of this that really would have been true no matter how many points we purchased. Someday, I hope, with my children and their significant others and Lord willing grandchildren, for all of us to stay in a grand villa at Disney's Old Key West Resort. So I ran the math and I made sure that by banking and borrowing points, so 3 years worth of points, we would have enough for 1 week in a grand villa where everybody could come and we could have a truly magical vacation. Now, am I sacrificing 3 years worth of points for that one vacation? Yes, but also my sweet husband, I don't have it in writing, I might need to get it in writing, has assured me that that doesn't mean on those other years I can't go to Disney as often as our finances will allow. And again, knowing that if the years are going well, maybe we stay somewhere deluxe. If it's not as well, maybe we stay at Pop, maybe we stay somewhere in the middle, but we become the ones in the driver's seat and we get to decide what our Walt Disney World vacations look like. Is it the most conventional route to DVC? No. But I really think they should talk to people about this option more because, and I ran some numbers for you because you guys know how I love to nerd out. If you look at something like the Riviera, which I actually don't recommend you buy, and if you don't know why, Google search Riviera resale restrictions, and that will tell you everything you need to know. But let's say that your family ran the math, and for a week's vacation, you would need 200 points, and you decide to do the every other year plan. If you were to do the every year plan and you needed 200 points every year, your initial buy-in would be $37,600 and your dues would be $1,662 a year or $138 a month. However, if you decided to only purchase 100 points, and that gives you, again, the ultimate flexibility, and only do those Riviera vacations every other year, that contract is only going to cost you $18,800, and your dues go down to $831 a year, or only $69 a month. And the opportunity cost, which opportunity cost is what you're losing because you're putting a big chunk of money into something else, is something to consider. Because if you've saved that $18,800, there are a variety of things you could do with that money. You could, for example, pay for your kids to go to college. You could buy a car. You could invest it and watch that nest egg grow. But you'd have lots of options to grow that money instead of paying it to Disney where it basically immediately disappears and you're not bound to that higher annual due monthly payment for the life of your contract, which, did I mention, that could be 50 years. So what I'm hoping this will do for some of you who really thought DVC was an all or nothing proposition is to start to look at it a little bit differently and realize maybe we don't need as many points. Maybe we can still go to Disney every year, but it doesn't always have to be using our Disney Vacation Club points. I hope you liked the video today. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that big subscribe button, hit those bell notifications, and make sure you give this video a big like, because that really does help me out and it helps the channel. I'm so glad that you were here. I hope you're being good to each other. I hope you like Scott's idea of DVC Light, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.